kunja vihari. Gopijana vallabha girivardhari. Gopijana vallabha girivardhari. Jashodanandana brajajana ranjana. Jashodanandana brajajana ranjana. Jamunatira bonachari. Jamunatira bonachari. Jaya Radha Madhava kunja bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava kunja bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nittai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद। नमो ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवती नैष्टिकी। Srimad Bhagavatam 4th Canto, Chapter 22, Prithu Maharaj's meeting with the Kumaras, Text 24. Ahiṁsayā pāramahaṁsya-caryayā pāramahaṁsya-caryayā smṛtyā mukundācaritāgrya mukundācaritāgrya-sīdhunā yamair akāmair niyamaiś cāpy anindayā nirīhayā dvandva-titikṣayā ca. Ahiṁsayā pāramahaṁsya-caryayā smṛtyā mukundācaritāgrya-sīdhunā yamair akāmair niyamaiś cāpy anindayā nirīhayā dvandva-titikṣayā ca. Ahiṁsayā pāramahaṁsya-caryayā smṛtyā mukundācaritāgrya-sīdhunā yamair akāmair niyamaiś cāpy anindayā nirīhayā dvandva-titikṣayā ca. Ahiṁsayā pāramahaṁsya-caryayā smṛtyā mukundācaritāgrya-sīdhunā yamair akāmair niyamaiś cāpy anindayā nirīhayā dvandva-titikṣayā ca
ahiṁsayā pāramahaṁsya-caryayā smṛtyā mukundācaritāgrya-sīdhunā yamair akāmair niyamaiś cāpy anindayā nirīhayā dvandva-titikṣayā ahiṁsayā pāramahaṁsya-caryayā smṛtyā mukundācaritāgrya-sīdhunā yamair akāmair niyamaiś cāpy anindayā
ahiṁsayā, by non-violence, pāramahaṁsya-caryayā, by following in the footsteps of great ācāryas, smṛtyā, by remembering, mukunda, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, ācarita-agrya, simply preaching his activities, sīdhunā, by the nectar, yamaiḥ, by following regulative principles, akāmair, without material desires, niyamaiḥ, by strictly following the rules and regulations, cha, also, cāpy, certainly, anindayā, without blaspheming, nirīhayā, living simply, plain living, dvandva, duality, titikṣayā, by tolerance, cha, and. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. A candidate for spiritual advancement must be non-violent, must follow in the footsteps of great ācarya's, must always remember the nectar of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, must follow the regulative principles without material desire, and, while following the regulative principles, should not blaspheme others. A devotee should lead a very simple life and not be disturbed by the duality of opposite elements. He should learn to tolerate them. Please repeat after me. A candidate for spiritual advancement must be non-violent, must follow in the footsteps of great ācaryas, must always remember the nectar of pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, must follow the regulative principles without material desire, and while following the regulative principles, should not blaspheme others. A devotee should lead a simple life and not be disturbed by the duality of opposite elements. He should learn to tolerate them. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. It is a long purport that shows how important these verses are. The devotees are actually saintly persons or sadhus. The first qualification of a sadhu or devotee is ahimsa or non-violence. Persons interested in the path of devotional service or in going back home, back to Godhead, must first practice ahimsa or non-violence. A sadhu is described as titikṣava karunikaha. A devotee should be tolerant and should be very much compassionate towards others. For example, if he suffers personal injury, he should tolerate it. But if someone else suffers injury, the devotee need not tolerate it. The whole world is full of violence, and a devotee's first business is to stop this violence, including the unnecessary slaughter of animals. A devotee is the friend not only to human society, but of all living entities. For he sees all living entities as sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He does not claim himself to be the only Son of God and allow all others to be killed, thinking that they have no soul. This kind of philosophy is never advocated by a pure devotee of the Lord. In order to understand the transcendental science, one must approach the bona fide spiritual master from Mundaka Upanishad. The work smṛtyā is very important in spiritual life. Smṛtyā means remembering Krishna always. Life should be molded in such a way that one cannot remain alone without thinking of Krishna. We should live in Krishna so that while eating, sleeping, walking, and working, we remain in Krishna, so that we remain only in Krishna. Our Krishna Consciousness Society recommends that we arrange our lives so that we can remember Krishna. In our ISKCON society, the devotees, while engaged in making spiritual sky incense, or also hearing about the glories of Krishna or his pastimes. The Shastra recommends smṛtyā satatang Vishnu. Lord Vishnu should be remembered always, constantly. Vismṛtyā na jatu chit. Vishnu should never be forgotten. That is the spiritual way of life, smṛtyā. This remembrance of the Lord can be continued if we hear about him constantly. It is therefore recommended in this verse, mukundācaritāgrya-sīdhunā. Sidhu means nectar. To hear about Krishna from Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita or similar authentic literatures is to live in Krishna consciousness. Such concentration in Krishna consciousness can be achieved by persons who are strictly following the rules and regulative principles. We have recommended in our Krishna consciousness movement that a devotee chant 16 rounds on beads daily and follow the regulative principles. That will help the devotee be fixed in his spiritual advancement in life. It is also stated in this verse that one can advance by controlling the senses, yamair. By controlling the senses, one can become a Swami or Goswami. One who is therefore enjoying this super title, Swami or Goswami, must be very strict in controlling his senses. Indeed, he must be master of his senses. This is possible when one does not desire any material sense gratification. If by chance the senses want to work independently, he must control them. If we simply practice avoiding material sense gratification, controlling the senses is automatically achieved. Another important point mentioned in this connection is anindayā. We should not criticize others' methods of religion. There are different types of religious systems operating under different qualities of material nature. Those operating in the modes of ignorance and passion cannot be as perfect as that system in the mode of goodness. In Bhagavad Gita, everything has been divided into 3 qualitative divisions. Therefore, religious systems are similarly categorized. When people are mostly under the modes of passion and ignorance, their system of religion will be of the same quality. A devotee, instead of criticizing such systems, will encourage the followers to stick to their principles so that gradually they can come to the platform of religion in goodness. Simply by criticizing them, a devotee's mind will be agitated. Thus, a devotee should tolerate and learn to stop agitation. Another feature of the devotee is nirīhayā, simple living. Niriha means gentle, meek, or simple. A devotee should not live very gorgeously and imitate a materialistic person. Plain living and high thinking are recommended for a devotee. He should accept only so much as he needs to keep the material body fit for execution of devotional service. He should not eat or sleep more than is required, simply eating for living and not living for eating, and sleeping only 6 to 7 hours a day are principles to be followed by devotees. As long as the body is there, it is subjected to the influences of climatic changes, disease, and natural disturbances. The threefold miseries of material existence. We cannot avoid them. Sometimes we receive letters from neophyte devotees questioning why they have fallen sick. Although pursuing Krishna consciousness, they should learn from this verse that they have to become tolerant. dvandva-titikṣayā. This is the world of duality. One should not think that because he has fallen sick, he has fallen from Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness can continue without impediment from any material opposition. Lord Shri Krishna therefore advises in Bhagavad Gita, Tang Stitiksha Bharata. My dear Arjun, please try to tolerate all these disturbances. Be fixed in your Krishna conscious activities. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitang Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishthang Sthapitang Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaiham Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As I mentioned, from this long purport, we can see the importance of this particular verse. Actually, these verses, all these verses that we are discussing for last few days are all very important, because the 4 Kumaras, the pure devotees of the Lord, one of the 12 Mahajans, Kumara, Kapila, Manu. So out of 12 Mahajans, Kumara, the 4 Kumaras has been included as one category of devotees. Like in a way, they were the first devotees after Brahma. They're the first four sons of Lord Brahma in this universe. And they are so detached, they were so fixed up in their spiritual conviction right from their appearance, practically right from their birth, that first of all, they all were conscious, fully conscious when they appeared. They were born from Brahma's mind and their fully matured personality. And Brahma asked them, requested them, please help me in my responsibility to take care of this material nature. But they declined. Sorry, we don't want to get entangled in these materialistic activities. And they left. Of course, there is one consideration. At the time of their appearance, they were attached to Brahman realization. They were impersonalists, not Mayavadis. There are two types of Mayavadis, Brahmavadis and Mayavadis. Two types of impersonalists, Brahmavadis and Mayavadis. Brahmavadis are absorbed in the bodily effulgence of the Lord, as we had been discussing in our Srimad Bhagavatam sessions. Like when Gopkumar left this planet, left this universe, he came to Brahma Jyoti. As he went out of the 8 coverings of material nature, he came to Brahma Jyoti. And he described what Brahma Jyoti is like. And in Brahma Jyoti, the presence of the Lord was not manifest. It was effulgence from the body of the Lord. And although Gopkumar saw that in that Brahma Jyoti also the form of the Lord was flashing, appearing and disappearing. But it was so bewildering that he couldn't fix his mind. So, and also he was about to lose his consciousness. Losing his consciousness means he was losing his Krishna consciousness. He was about to merge in Brahma Jyoti. So that is one situation. Initially the the 4 Kumaras were in that situation. But then when they smelt the fragrance of tulasi and the flowers offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, they became attached to the Lord. They became devotees of the Lord. They fell in love with the Lord. So we can see how great, how exalted these personalities are. And they are so absorbed in the spiritual identity. They are so removed from material consciousness that they don't have any awareness of their bodies. And their bodies just remain like the way they were at the time of their appearance, just like 5-6 years old boys. They don't have any external consciousness, therefore they don't wear anything. They don't wear any clothes. Although they are the next to Brahma in this universe. Brahma is the first created personality and they were the next ones. They look like children. So that is another one thing about the spiritual development. We are also seeing that in Gopkumar's story of Srimad Bhagavatam. The spiritual identity of a personality doesn't grow old. They just remain in the same way. Although millions and trillions and zillions of years went by, Gopkumar remained the same cowherd boy, a young boy. And so these personalities came to Prithu Maharaj and they are instructing Prithu Maharaj about how to make the human form of life successful. Actually, an intelligent person's consideration should be how to make this life successful. Less intelligent people do not think. They don't have the ability to think. They just move along with the rest of the society. That is called Gaddalika Prabaha. Just like the ships, the hordes of ships, they just follow the way the other ships are moving. They just keep moving in the same way, as if they don't have any independent will to decide what they need to do or what they should do. So people are like that. When they see that people are all running after money, running after comfortable material life, they all just move that way. We notice that also, the trend, how it goes. I remember when I was young, the trend was to become engineers. Everybody wanted to become engineers. Then the occupation of a doctor became very lucrative. First of all, why everybody was running to become an engineer? Because as an engineer, one could earn a lot of money. But then they saw that the doctors are making more money. So the tendency became that everyone is running after becoming a doctor. Then the computer came, and computer programming, computer science, involved in computer science became very lucrative, paying. So everybody is running to become computer engineers. So this is the Gaddalika Prabaha. The way everyone goes, everybody follows. And in India we are seeing, among all the engineering colleges or prestigious universities, IIT is very prominent. That means if one gets a job in IIT, one will get a lot of money. So the competition is to join IIT. And not only joining IIT, be absorbed by some American company, because they pay more than Indian companies. So this is how everyone is running after money. So this is the unfortunate trend that happens when people don't think themselves, or they don't have proper exposure to the right knowledge, right understanding. So, and now we are seeing like how the intelligent people are joining ISKCON, in India at least. Because when these people are becoming exposed to the important understanding, important informations about what should one do with his life, when they are recognizing that fact from the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, they are giving up their materialistic pursuit and joining ISKCON. Like many IIT graduates who are considered to be the cream of Indian society are joining ISKCON. Although they can get very good lucrative jobs even in other countries like America, but they are rejecting those opportunities and joining ISKCON. And many other educated young boys, although they have good jobs, they're giving up their jobs and joining ISKCON. In our temple in Ujjain, how many young educated boys are there? How many? What's the number, Charu? I think more than 50 educated young boys. Oh, 38. 30. Okay. Very good. Still, it's pretty good. We have about 90 brahmacharis, and out of them 30 are educated young boys coming from those kind of background, engineering background, chartered accountancy background, and so forth, business management background. They had good jobs. That boy, Abhay Charan, who I asked and who answered the question, he had a lucrative job, very good job. I mean, many young boys will be coveting for that kind of job. And he was begging me to give up his job, and to allow him to give up his job and join ISKCON. So finally I agreed. And his friend Brajendra Krishna and Chitahari is a chartered accountant. So these boys, these are the sign of real intelligence. This is the sign of real intelligence. What's the point in making money? Working like a donkey, make money to enjoy like a monkey. So what's the use of that life? And they're actually, materialistic enjoyment is like monkey's life. Jumping from one tree to another, having sex. Jumping from one situation to another, finding a suitable, comfortable situation, just to have sex. That's the monkey's life, or a pig's life. So why should a human being submit himself to that kind of lifestyle? So that's why we can see that how important Srila Prabhupada's teachings are, and how important it is that we expose these teachings to people outside. If people get to know that, then only they'll understand what they should do with their lives. If they do not have a higher option, why should they give up the lower option, lower possibility, lower degree of enjoyment? Therefore, it is very important that we preach. And it's happening. Wherever we are going, in the universities and educational institutions, the young boys and girls are joining. Like it has, anyway. So now, that is the first step. Give them the opportunity to become a devotee of Krishna. And now, it's coming to what should one do when one becomes a devotee of Krishna? What should one do? And this is what Sanat Kumar is telling, one of the 4 Kumaras. That these are the things, these are the practices that he must perform. This is how he should mold his life. Ahiṁsayā. The first thing is ahiṁsayā, non-violence. Non-violence. Don't unnecessarily inflict pain on others. And Prabhupada gives another consideration for non-violence. Don't hinder others' spiritual progress. To stop somebody from his spiritual progress is violence. So if we have the opportunity, if we have that understanding how can people make spiritual advancement, and if we don't give them that opportunity, then that will be considered as a kind of violence. So the real non-violence will be to spread Krishna consciousness. And the basic consideration of non-violence is not to unnecessarily inflict pain to other living entities. Not only unto the human beings, but not to the animals, not even to the insects and worms. That is the mood, that is the attitude of a devotee. He doesn't want to inflict pain even to an ant or a mosquito. I have seen devotees, mosquito is biting. This is the experience I had once in Vrindavan with Tamal Krishna Maharaj. Him and I was sitting in the room, and Vrindavan those days used to be filled with mosquitoes. Although we used to have nets in the rooms, still there was mosquitoes used to come in. So one day one mosquito was biting Tamal Krishna Maharaj on his leg. And maybe because of the heat, his dhoti was lifted up to his knees. And the mosquito became bloated with blood from his body, drinking the blood. And when he noticed that, he was about to slap the mosquito. His hand raised, but then it stopped. He wouldn't even inflict pain on a mosquito. He won't even kill a mosquito who is actually biting him. So this is a devotee. This is how non-violent a devotee is. He won't inflict pain even to a mosquito. So what to speak of killing animals for the sake of eating their meat? So, and then next thing is pāramahaṁsya-caryayā. Paramahamsa means swan-like personalities. Swan-like personalities means saintly personalities who discriminate between matter and spirit. Like the quality of a swan is, swan can separate milk from water. If there's a mixture of milk and water, the swan will accept only the milk and leave the water. Now this material nature is a mixture of matter and spirit. So a swan-like personality, a devotee of the Lord, simply accepts the material aspect and rejects accepts the spiritual aspect and rejects the material. So that is the saintly personality. And also Prabhupada is pointing out, ācarita-agrya, following the footsteps of those personalities. Spiritual life means following the previous acharyas who are swan-like personalities. Pāramahaṁsya-caryayā. Smṛtyā, always remembering Krishna and never forgetting Him. mukundācaritāgrya-sīdhunā, remembering the pastimes and relishing the nectar of the Lord's pastimes, remembering them all the time. Remembering the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and to a devotee they are like the real nectar. Bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katha. The narrations of the activities of the Lord, the narrations of Lord's pastimes, to a devotee is like the nectar that he drinks with his ears. This is a kind of a nectar that one doesn't taste with his mouth, but tastes it with his ears. And these nectarian pastimes of the Lord, through the passage of the ears, enter into the heart of the devotee and inundates his heart with the shower of nectar. Ritkarna rasayana katha. Karna means ears and rit means hridaya, heart. His heart and ears become enchanted by hearing those pastimes, and his heart becomes, his entire being becomes inundated with a flood of nectar. And we are seeing that when we are discussing Brihad Bhagavatamrita, how these devotees like Narad Muni, like Gop Kumar, like the Brahmana from who received the benediction from Devi, as they are experiencing Krishna consciousness, hearing about Krishna's pastimes, they are behaving like a madman. Even they are fainting due to their ecstasy. Now, this is the real effect of hearing Krishna Katha properly. And they should be free from material desires and follow the regulative principles. And they should not blaspheme others. Anindayā. Devotees don't see anything bad in anybody. Rather, like a swan, he only sees the good qualities and he rejects the bad. And that is how he just remains in his spiritual situation. and the material dualities, the duality of this material nature, pleasure and pain, desirable and undesirable. So all these dualities he simply tolerates. When pleasure comes, he doesn't become affected by that. That sukhecha bigata smṛtyā. He doesn't have any hankering for happiness or enjoyment. And dukkheshu anudvigna mana. He is not disturbed, he is not perturbed by difficulties. So this is how a devotee is always composed, equipoised, peaceful internally. It's not affected because this is just a passing phase. Just like when one watches something happening, when he knows that it is not real, he doesn't become affected. Like when one watches a drama or a movie, he may get some emotional effect out of that, but he doesn't react on that because he knows it's just a movie, just some depiction of some happenings on a screen, which is not real. Similarly, he considers that whatever is happening to him in this platform is also unreal, and he remains unaffected by that. So this is how Sanat Kumar is instructing through Prithu Maharaj to us. He is instructing us by giving these instructions to Prithu Maharaj, how to become a devotee of the Lord. If we want to become a devotee of the Lord, then we must follow these principles, follow this process. We should be non-violent, we should not inflict pain on other living entities unnecessarily. We should follow the path that previous ācaryaS, especially Srila Prabhupada, has given us. We should drink the nectar of the Lord's pastime all the time, constantly. Hearing and chanting means constantly becoming absorbed in Lord's pastimes and Lord's instructions. And follow the regulative principles without material desire. And while following the regulative principles, should not blaspheme others, especially the devotees, because we know the first offense to the holy name is to blaspheme the devotees of the Lord. A devotee should lead a very simple life and not be disturbed by the duality of opposing elements, and he should learn to tolerate them. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. A few minutes left for question answers. If there is any, we can take that. Jamuna Devi Dasi from London. Okay, it's early morning, Jamuna. I was just listening to one of your lectures where you mentioned that in the Grihastha ashram, it is husband's duty to care for his wife and children. In Kali Yuga, many marriages break down, so the women end up having to maintain themselves, which can also distract from our spiritual life. What's the best way to counteract that? Yeah, thank you, Jamuna. Like, it's unfortunate that marriages are breaking up in this age. Actually, in the Vedic culture, and if we really want to follow Vedic culture, there shouldn't be any divorce, any separation as such. And in this way, it's true, like, what to speak of the husband taking the responsibility of maintaining the family, but he is just deserting the wife and leaving her with the child to take care of the child as a single mother. That has become one of the big problems of this world today, the single mothers. And because there is no strict rules and regulations, therefore this is happening. Because by nature, men want to enjoy. And today's world is exposing women to be enjoyed by men without discrimination. So that man becomes responsible, there is the consideration, social consideration of marriage. Through marriage, a man and woman get together. They live together. The man takes the responsibility to maintain the family. Okay, he is enjoying his wife, but he will have to pay the price by taking the responsibility of maintaining the family. But now, the consideration of marriage is not there practically. Most of the people don't even get married. They just, man and woman live together. Man enjoys the woman, and then when he gets, actually that enjoyment doesn't work. When he becomes disappointed, when he becomes frustrated, and when he thinks that this woman is a burden, he dumps her, goes away, runs after another woman. And that's what is going on in this world. And this is not a human society. This is not even an animal society. This is a society which is even worse than animal society. Even the animal father takes the responsibility of the children. But in today's society, in so-called human society, they have become even worse than animals. And Krishna consciousness is the only way that can rectify this misdirected civilization. But those who are in Krishna consciousness, at least they should follow the process properly. They shouldn't behave like animals. They should learn to behave like civilized human beings. That is my sincere appeal to all the members, especially the householders of ISKCON. If you get married, then take the responsibility and never leave your wife. Take the responsibility of your wife and children. What to speak of a devotee? That is what is expected from a civilized and cultured personality. So this is a question from Udayananda Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport that we should not criticize other religion. Oh, that's a good point, I missed it out. Yes, Prabhupada mentioned other religion because they are situated in the lower modes of nature, and in due course of time they will gradually rise to the higher principles of devotional service. But we see in the international scene, extreme violence is being labeled against innocent people under extreme religious persuasion. How do those people make advancement by such demoniac activities? Well, when Prabhupada says tolerate other religions, Prabhupada is mentioning that when they're properly practicing that religion, not in the name of that religion they are acting in an inappropriate way. So that is not religion. What is going on in today's world in the name of religion in most cases is not really religion. Like killing in the name of religion, killing innocent people in the name of religion, killing women, children in the name of religion is not religion. Okay, it's a desert religion. For those people that religion was given, so it's expected, okay, fine, you follow it that way. but not bring that concept in a civilized world and make people behave like the way, like they would behave in a bunch of nomads in a desert. And that is the problem in today's world. But still we can tolerate them provided they are practicing it properly. No religion speaks about unnecessary violence. Okay, fine, in desert there is no food, so they have to eat some animals. But that also they have the doctrine that kill one big animal instead of killing many small animals. But cow killing was never sanctioned, even in those religions, because there was no cows. In the desert, where is the cow? And if they had cow in the desert, they would consider it to be a most valuable asset. But anyway, now cow killing has become the culture of that religion. So this is the unfortunate state of affairs. Therefore, I mean, at least we can, if we do not know how to rectify the situation, at least we can pray to Krishna that you please rectify the situation, because only you can do it. And as a matter of fact, that is why ācarita-agrya invited Krishna to come. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to come, because he himself is Mahavishnu. And he saw that he couldn't take care of this situation. Only Krishna can. And that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and the process he gave is Sankirtan. Therefore, wherever, no matter whatever is happening in this world, like we should just carry on spreading this Sankirtan movement, because this is the only means of rectifying this situation. So, okay, I'm running a little late. Aradhita Devi Dasi. No, it's not. Okay, Aradhita Devi Dasi. Okay, there is violent communication in family members, even between wife and husband. How to overcome it? I think I answered the question, Aradhita. Where is Aradhita? Okay, okay. So, Dharmendra Krishna, yesterday you explained that devotional service is achieved only by mercy of devotees, and in answer to our question you told one should serve the devotees in such a way that they will be forced to bestow their mercy. Mercy is causeless. How it can be forced? Forced means they'll be compelled. They'll become so compassionate to you that irrespective of who you are, what you are, they will bestow their mercy upon you. That's why it's a causeless mercy. Hare Krishna, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.